Good day. So in this video, magdi-discuss tayo ng examples on our topic which is yung areas between curves using horizontal strips. For the first problem, I want to go back dun sa last problem nung examples natin on areas between curves using vertical strips. So ito yung area of the region bounded by the curves y squared equals 2x minus 2 tsaka y equals x minus 5. So ito din yung problem dun sa isa nating video previously. So I'll post a link dun sa video dito sa taas. So ang first step natin is we want to rewrite itong curves na to as a function of y. So i-isolate natin ngayon si x. So si y squared equals 2x minus 2, pwede natin siyang isulat na x equals 1 half y squared plus 1. And yung equation, yung line na y equals x minus 5, pwede natin siyang i-rewrite na x equals y plus 5. So we're doing this para maisulat natin si x as a function of y. Okay, so let's take a look at the graph of the curves. We'll start with yung blue na line and we'll see na siya yung nasa right side nung curve. So siya yung parang tumata yung upper function. So dun sa formula natin, sa kanya ko i-assign yung pangalan na phi of y. So yun yung equivalent ni f of x, which is yung yung ginagamit natin for the upper function. So phi of y is equal to y plus 5. And the equation of the parabola, tatawagin natin siyang gamma. Gamma of y is equal to 1 half y squared plus 1. Kasi siya yung tumata yung parang lower function. Siya yung nandun sa left na side ng ating Cartesian plane. Now, to be consistent with our methods, I will draw an approximating rectangle. Ito yung horizontal strip na gagamitin natin. And in this case, siya yung parang nasa ith na interval. And I guess might as well make the observation na yung point na ini-intersect no approximating rectangle dun sa phi of y, ang coordinates niya ay phi of y sub i. Kasi x yung phi of y sub i. Kaya mauna siya dun sa ordered pair. And conversely, dun sa kabilang side, ang coordinates naman ng point ng rectangle na tumatama dun sa parabola natin will be gamma of y sub i. So here, we could see, para makuha natin yung length nung rectangle natin, this will be phi of y sub i minus gamma of y sub i. Kasi nga, nasa upper yung phi, plus yun yung way para maging positive yung distance. And yung yung kanyang height will be given by delta y. But we'll jump diretso na dun sa definite integral. Hindi na natin siya i-express as a Riemann sum. So, let's just label na si phi sub y, siya si y plus 5 at siya yung upper function, siya yung nasa right side. Tapos si gamma sub y, siya yung lower function, siya yung nasa left side. And before we could write our definite integral, we need to identify yung boundaries ng ating interval. So, yung limits of integration natin. So, we need to solve for the points of intersection kasi siya yung magde-define nung nung interval. So, we'll equate the two expressions. We'll have y plus 5 is equal to 1 half y squared plus 1. So, ginagawa natin to para mahanap natin yung points kung saan pareho sila ng y. So, let's multiply 2 to both sides, tapos i-group natin lahat sa isang side. We could write it as y squared minus 2y minus 8 is equal to 0. And this is factorable. Y plus 2 times y minus 4 is equal to 0. And so, we could see that our y values would be negative 2 and positive 4. So, ito na yung y values na nagde-determine nung ating interval. We'll be doing our integration from y equals negative 2 papuntang y equals positive 4. So, we're ready to write our definite integral and evaluate it. So, the area of the region will be given by, so ito yung formula natin, the definite integral from negative 2 to 4, kasi siya yung siya yung interval, of phi of y minus gamma of y dy. This is equal to the definite integral from negative 2 to 4 of the quantity y plus 5 minus 1 half y squared plus 1. Combining like terms, we'll get the definite integral of negative 2 to 4 of negative 1 half y squared plus y plus 4. And using the power rule, makukuha natin na ang isang antiderivative nito ay negative 1 over 6 y cubed plus y squared over 2 plus 4y, which we will then evaluate from negative 2 to 4. So substituting, yung 4 tsaka si negative 2 will get negative 1 over 6 times 4 cubed, which is 64, plus 4 squared, 16 over 2, plus 4 times 4, minus, pag in-evaluate naman natin sa negative 2, this will be negative 1 over 6 times negative 8, plus positive 4 over 2, plus 4 times negative 2. So at this point, arithmetic na lang siya. So we'll better make sure na hindi tayo magkakamali dito. And what I got was negative 12 plus 30, which will give me 18 square units. So you could go back, no, dun sa example natin na to. When we were talking about vertical strips, at 18 din yung nakuha natin. Siyempre, dapat consistent yung answers natin. But you will notice that for this problem, we only evaluated one integral. When we tried looking for the area of this region, na ang ginagamit lang natin ay vertical strips, meaning along the x-axis tayo nag-integrate, we had to split the region into two parts at gumawa tayo ng dalawang definite integrals. Here, by just shifting our perspective a bit, titignan natin siya from the side at mag-evaluate tayo along the y-axis, isang definite integral lang yung kailangan natin gamitin. So here again, we want to find the area of the region bounded between two curves, no? But this time, yung dalawang curves natin parehong parabola. So yung first curve will be given by x equals y squared minus 10y plus 22, and the second will be given by x equals negative y squared plus 6y minus 2. Let's start by graphing the two curves. So yung parabola that opens to the right, siya yung positive, yung y squared na term. And the parabola that opens left, siya yung negative, yung y squared na term. So let's label that. So phi of y, kasi siya yung lalabas na upper function natin, kasi siya yung nasa right side, we'll write it as phi of y equals negative y squared plus 6y minus 2, and gamma of y is yung isang function, si y squared minus 10y plus 22. Let's draw another rectangular approximation of area. Ito yung approximating rectangle natin sa ith subinterval. And again, I'm just showing here, no, na yung points na tumatama siya dun sa phi of y will be given by phi of y sub I, comma y sub I, and yung part nung rectangle na tumatama dun sa gamma of y na curve, yung point na shared nila no approximating rectangle will have coordinates gamma of y sub I, comma y sub I. So again, we could see that the length of the rectangle will be given by phi of y sub I minus gamma of y sub I, and its height will be given by delta y. But again, we won't be writing the Riemann sum anymore. So okay lang, basta na-establish natin na alam natin kung bakit phi of y minus gamma sub y. And we will also need to determine kung ano yung coordinates nitong intersections nila. Kasi sila yung mag-serve na intervals natin na gagamitin natin for the integration. Parang ito yung lower and upper limits of integration natin will be given by the y coordinates of the intersections. So our first step will be to find the intersection points, at least the y values nung mga points of intersection. So equate natin yung dalawang expressions. We'll have y squared minus 10y plus 22 is equal to negative y squared plus 6y minus 2. Again, kasi sa intersections, pareho sila ng y values. So adding y squared minus 6y plus 2 to both sides para maging 0 yung right side, we'll have 2y squared minus 16y plus 24 equals 0. We will observe na common factor yung 2, so divide natin everything by 2 para makuha natin yung y squared minus 8y plus 12 equals 0. We should observe that this is factorable. So factoring this trinomial, this is equivalent to y minus 2 times y minus 6 equals 0, and we'll get our y values to be 2 and 6. So when we perform our integration, yung limits of integration natin will be 2 and 6 respectively. So our next step is to compute for the area. So our definite integral will be the definite integral from 2 to 6 of the upper function minus the lower function, and that will be given by the quantity negative y squared plus 6y minus 2 minus the quantity y squared minus 10y plus 22. Combining like terms, we'll get that this is the definite integral from 2 to 6, no, of negative 2y squared plus 16y minus 24. And applying the power rule, we'll get this antiderivative. We'll have negative 2/3 y cubed plus 16 over 2. Simplify na natin yan sa next step to 8. 16 over 2 y squared minus 24y evaluated from 6 to 2. So substituting yung limits of integration for our first group, we'll have negative 2/3 times 6 cubed, which is 216, plus 8 times 6 squared, which is 36, minus 24 times 6. Minus the quantity, evaluate naman natin sa 2, we'll have negative 2/3 times 2 cubed or 8, plus 8 times 2 squared, which is 4, minus 24 times 2. So at this point, puro numbers na lang siya. Let's just be careful na hindi tayo magkamali. the first term should simplify to 0, and the second term will simplify to negative 64 over 3. But since it's 0 minus negative 64 over 3, ang final result natin will be positive 64 over 3. And let's not forget to indicate na since we're looking for area, ibibigay natin yung units of measurement. In this case, square units lang. Kasi wala namang definite, wala naman tayong ginamit na actual measurement. So we'll just write it as 64 over 3 square units and box our final answer. Okay, so I hope na tinry nyo siya at pareho tayo ng mga nakuhang result. And I also hope na nakita natin kung ano yung similarity niya dun sa previous topic na vertical strips yung ginagamit natin. This basically just a change in perspective to allow us to integrate along y and to use functions pa rin kahit yung curves na ginagamit natin ay technically hindi sila functions of x kasi hindi sila nagpapass ng vertical line test. So I hope that everything is clear and for now, salamat sa pakikinig.